Ladies and gentlemen, everyone, welcome to you. You're watching Encounter. Today, our guest in the program is Dr. Mrs. Vinoo Arun. You're the Vice President of the Ramayana Center, which is located in Rosebel, in the southeast of the country. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Roshan. First of all, namaste to you and namaste to all the viewers of Encounter program. I'm very happy to be here today.
Thank you very much. And as I just mentioned, you're one of the representatives of the Ramayana Center. So, of course, we will be speaking about Ramayana. The book has been written thousands of years ago, and somehow it is still very relevant in our everyday life. I'm not saying it is the most important book, but there are many other books that have been written. You have the Mahabharata, you have the Bhagavad Gita, which is a chapter of Mahabharata, but probably the two most popular books are Mahabharata and Ramayana. I know you're conversant with both books, but today we'll speak about the essence of Ramayana. Tell us a bit, how do you find yourself studying and carrying out talks on Ramayana?
Ramayana is older and Mahabharata came after that. And both books have influenced the life of mankind. Not only of Indians, but these books have gone very far countries to Southeast Asia also, crossing the boundaries of India. But Ramayana has become very popular because the values of Ramayana teach us how to lead a very happy family life. Because when a human being comes on this earth, he is in a family. He gets his parents, he gets his brothers, sisters, so many family relationships. And if we are not comfortable and we are not leading our family life, everything is shattered. We cannot have a good social life, we cannot be a good citizens of any country. So Ramayana teaches us how to lead a good life as an individual, as a family member, as a social human being, and how you can lead your nation towards peace and progress. And that is why the values of Ramayana are so popular that, as you mentioned, we don't know how many years before Ramayana was written. Sage Valmiki was the first person to write it in Sanskrit. But since then, you will be astonished to know, and maybe you know also, the story of Ramayana, the saga of Ram became so popular that after Maharshi Valmiki, who wrote first time Ramayana, so many other Ramayans have been written in Sanskrit, and those writers, they wrote according to the cultural, political and social needs of their time. And then in 16th century, first time, Ramcharitmanas was written by Tulsidas in the local language, I mean in a dialect which is called Awadhi, a dialect of Hindi. And as you know, our ancestors, when they came to Mauritius, they brought this book and they could sustain themselves. And the character of Ram are so popular that we always derive inspiration from the character of Sri Ram and other characters of Ramayana.
First question, Ramayana, is it the truth or is it a myth?
It is truth.
Okay.
For me, it is 100% truth. And Roshan, you have asked a very, very genuine question, and whatever I know, I will justify how it is a truth, not a myth. Because in India, all these places where Sri Ram traveled, starting from Ayodhya, where he was born, up to Lanka, all these places still exist, and a lot of researches have been made, and the whole path, Ram Van Gaman Marg, the journey of Sri Ram, starting from Ayodhya to Lanka, has been specified.
It has been traced.
Yeah, and as you know, in NASA, they have even found some remainings of that bridge, which was made by Nal and Neel, from where Sri Ram and his army marched to Lanka. So this is not, according to me, is a myth, is a real story. It is a real happening, I can say.
Oh, wow. And of course, we cannot speak of the Ramayana, without mentioning, of course, Hanuman also,
Yeah.
who is very much adored in Mauritius and around the world, of
Around
course.
the world.
Why is the Ramayana so important to you? How did this all interest in studying and talking about it begin for you?
Because I find that at each step of our life, we get lot of encouragement, motivation, inspiration from Ramayana. We can learn how to live our life. You mentioned that it was Kaikeyi who became instrumental. Kaikeyi, I mean, one of the mothers of Sri Ram, who became instrumental in persuading Sri Ram to go to exile for 14 years. I tell you what happened actually when Sri Ram was summoned by Dashrath and Kaikeyi, and Sri Ram goes there. He does not know anything what has happened between his father and mother, because he was going to be coronated.
Yes.
But then all of a sudden he has been called there, and when he goes there, Dashrath is so shocked, he doesn't speak any word. It is Kaikeyi who mentions that, Sri Ram, I have asked two boons. One boon is you have to go to forest for 14 years, and the other is Bharat has to be
A king. The
to
next
be a king. Yeah. So Sri Ram would have reacted in a very negative way. Just imagine, I'm going to get a very good position, very high position, and all of a sudden I get this news. How I will react? I will be shattered.
It is the highest position.
Highest position. He is going to be king of Ayodhya.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, mother is saying that I'm going to give you forest. And without committing any mistake, if I have committed a mistake and someone, depromotes me, I agree. But Ram has not done anything wrong. All of a sudden, he has been called and given this order. How should have Ram reacted? Just imagine. But the way Sri Ram reacted, that teaches us how to take an adverse situation into a positive one. That Sri Ram teaches us. Sri Ram says, I quote Ramcharitmanas, Munigan milan bisesaban sabahi bhanti hitmor tapas pitu ayasu bahuri sammat janani tor bharat pran priya pavahi raju vidhi sab vidhi san mukh muhi aju. If I translate, he says, oh mother, I do not see any problem here. I see all the positive things. If you are sending me to forest, there are so many positive things. First of all, I will go and meet the Rishi Munis, and it will enhance my spiritual knowledge. Here, if I sit in Ayodhya, I will only have the responsibilities to take care of the kingdom. But if I go, I will meet all the Rishi Munis, the renowned Rishi Munis in the forest. Second thing, my father's wish will be taken care. And then you also have the same wish which will be fulfilled. And the fourth reason why I want to go, I'm not refusing to go, that my loved brother, who is so dear to me, Bharat, will go to will get the kingdom. So I feel everything is so positive. You don't have to worry. This is the way Sri Ram reacts to a negative situation. That teaches us, because we are human beings, at each step, anything wrong can happen to us. So it teaches us how to take the crisis, how to handle a crisis. If Sri Ram would not have accepted the orders, there could be bloodshed in Ayodhya.
Of course.
As it has happened in Mahabharata.
Exactly.
So this book teaches us all the positive things. That is why I love this book so much, and that is why at Ramayana Center we are trying to promote and propagate the values of Ramayana. I gave you one example.
One of a hotly debated topic is the decision of Kaikeyi to say that, Sri Ram, you have to go on exile and have my other son Bharat to become king. It's I wouldn't say it's controversial, but it's 50-50 on what people think about it. What I would ask you is, I think people should focus more on, we cannot change others. We
Yeah.
can only change ourselves.
Ourselves.
So this is what probably Ram realized at that time also. He already knew it.
Yeah, of course, you are very right. We cannot change others' decision. We can change ourselves because we have full control on ourselves. We have no control over the others. That's what is the teaching of Ramayana. So in each situation, Sri Ram reacts in a very positive way. And why it happened? It didn't happen in one day. It happens what you have imbibed through your childhood, what you have been learning through your childhood, your sanskaras. If the sanskars are not there,
The
if
teachings,
the
sanskaras,
teaching,
teachings,
yeah,
yeah.
if the teaching is not there, if the good values have not been imbibed in our personality, in our character, in our existence from the beginning, we cannot react in such a way. We will be very negative. You see how is the society. For every small thing, we quarrel, we fight,
Yes.
we become enemies of someone. So that's why I tell you, Ramayana teaches at each step how we have to react, how we have to respond to the situation, how we have to behave with our
peers.
people. Yeah.
So can we say that there has been a degradation of values at some point in society now? Does this make the Ramayana even more important?
Yeah, that's why we are promoting Ramayana, not only us, everybody is talking about Ramayana. And if you know, in Mauritius, Ramayana is so popular. There are so many mandalis, people chant, people recite, there are so many discourses, Ram Katha is going on, serial on Ramayana
Yes.
is shown on TV because it is so relevant. Every time, in each situation, there is a learning from Ramayana. We learn how to obey our parents. We learn how to respect our guru. You know, these days, relationship between guru and shishya, I mean the teacher and student, is not the same as it was in the earlier days. There was a respect which the teacher was commanding from the student. But nowadays, everything is just, you know, degrading. There is a erosion in the values.
Yes.
So these values are learnt from the family. The family, the parents are the first teachers for a child. He learns from his family. Then he goes to school, he learns from his gurus. But these days, everything, as you know, has become very materialistic. Earlier, when parents were teaching good things to children, I remember when we were young, our dadi, our nani, you know, our
Yeah.
grandparents,
Yeah.
they were telling us good stories when we were going to sleep with them. They were narrating such beautiful things to us. And you know, in the childhood, whatever you learn, it remains in your unconscious mind. So this training is lacking somewhere.
Ram is a divine character in Ramayana. Is he God? Is he a normal human being?
You know,
He was a warrior, though. He was brought up as a warrior, like his brothers. He has been trained as a warrior. He has been given the teachings from the Sanskrit. But is he God or was he human?
this is it depends on your faith. But if I quote Valmiki Ramayana, because as I told you, Valmiki is the first poet who has written Ramayana. If he had not written, maybe we would not have known about Sri Ram, about all the characters, we would not have got Ramayana. So when he depicts Ram, according to him, Sri Ram is a human being, but he is an ideal human being who has got all the qualities of an ideal person. And what is the quality of Sri Ram? That he lived those qualities, those virtues. I can say Sri Ram is a personification of the human values. All the values have come in his conduct. He is an example of the values. And that's what Valmiki wanted. I tell you, when he started writing Ramayana, he asked Narad Rishi, the sage Narad, I want to write a book in which the hero of my book should be an ideal one. He should be truthful, he should be grateful, he should be very honest, he should be very brave, all these hundreds of qualities. And Sri Narad, after pondering, he says, only one person is there, and he is Sri Ram. He says, there is Ikshvaku Vansha Prabhavo Ramo Nam Janaishrutaha. So there is a person who is born in Ikshvaku dynasty, and his name is Ram. It means Sri Ram was very much there, and Valmiki, Narad knew about him. At the later stage, Valmiki also met Sri Ram. Oh. And when Sita was sent to forest, Sita lived in the ashram of Valmiki ji. So according to Valmiki Ramayana, he was an ideal person with divinity. He had, though he was a human being, but he was having that divinity. And how that divinity came? Because of the values which he lived in his life, by his conduct.
So Sri Ram was a human after all?
According to Valmiki.
But with the perfect values?
With perfect values, and in later books, he has been depicted as God. As I mentioned Ramcharitmanas. In Ramcharitmanas, when Tulsi has depicted Sri Ram is Parabrahm, means Almighty God. And then he is also incarnation of Lord Vishnu. And he is Maryada Purushottam. Maryada Purushottam means a man of decorum.
But how does he transit from being a human being to being so high up there?
Because of the values, because of his character, because of his conduct.
Okay.
In each condition, in each context, in each situation, he never compromises. I give you one example. When he meets Sugriv, and
Sugriv is the king of monkeys.
Monkeys. He killed Bali, and Sugriv had to get the kingdom. So Sri Ram tells Lakshman, go and do his Rajyabhishek, make him king, do all the rituals. Yeah. Sri Ram is not going. And Sugriv has asked, why don't you come? Because, it is because of you that I am becoming king. Sri Ram says, my parents, my father had told me to go to exile, to forest. And you are living in a town. I cannot come to the town to do the ceremony.
So it would be against the values that if I'm on an exile, I cannot go to such things.
Yeah, that I say. His father was not there. I mean, he had already, gone to heaven. And his mother, Kaikeyi, was not there. No one from Ayodhya was there. He is so far from Ayodhya. If you, these days, the place where Ram met with Sugriv, it is found in Karnataka.
Okay.
So far from Ayodhya is in Uttar Pradesh. So you can imagine 1,000 miles away. No one knows where is Sri Ram. If he had gone to that place, no one would have known. But Sri Ram is not doing something to show others. He is doing because his faith is there. He believes in what he is doing. And that is why he is so great. Even when Ravan was killed in Lanka, he tells Vibhishan, you go and you become the king, because he gave the kingdom of Lanka to Vibhishan. He could have taken for him because everybody was killed. It was only Vibhishan. But he had promised Vibhishan to give the kingdom to him. So he would have gone to Lanka. He doesn't go because his 14 years were not yet completed. That is the greatness of Sri Ram. Again, everywhere he is showing an example by his conduct.
So just a bracket to our viewers, when Ravan was killed, it was with the help of Vibhishan that Sri Ram managed to kill Ravan, and right after, it was Sri Ram who designated Vibhishan to take over the place of Ravan as the king of Lanka.
Yeah.
All right, we'll continue with this. There are so many stories, there are so many chapters in the Ramayana. Uh, do you think that youngsters nowadays are not in touch with the Ramayana scriptures now as it was before? I will be honest with you. I did not read the Ramayana as you have read it, but I have seen the series. At least I know the essence of it. I've read the books of the story of it, and it gives you an idea, at least the direction of where it goes. But what about youngsters nowadays then?
They are, our youngsters have all the facilities. They are very fortunate. What facilities we were not having at our time, they have got. They have, internet, they have mobile, all the knowledge is so accessible to them. And as you say, there are serials, there are films. Ramayana is in each house, I can say. But they are lacking the knowledge of Ramayana. But I can't say all the children are like that. I will give you one example. At Ramayana Center, we want to promote the values. So what to do for the youth? So we had a competition, a painting competition. We gave 2 themes to the students, to college, and we told them to do some painting on the basis of that theme. And we were surprised. Thousands of entries we received. We were thinking if we get 100 even, it will be a big success. And we were surprised. We were amazed to find so many entries. Beautiful paintings they had made by their imagination on the basis of some research. Maybe their parents also helped them, their teachers. So I can say Ramayana is very popular even in the youngsters, but we have to make more effort that they get more lessons from Ramayana.
What is the Ramayana Center in Rosebell doing to promote the teachings of? Do you have classes every week?
We have classes.
Can you tell us a bit more about?
Yeah, we run classes on Ramayana where we teach them how to recite it, but our more emphasis on the correct pronunciation. How do you pronounce each word properly? And then what is the essence of Ramayana? The explanation, the interpretation of Ramayana is very important. Then only we get the what have been taught there. So we lay a lot of emphasis on that. And then we have classes for children. We have lot of activities throughout the year. We have lot of celebration. Recently, we had Ram Leela from UP, Ayodhya, where Sri Ram is born.
Uttar Pradesh.
Uttar Pradesh, where Sri Ram is born. We have a 17 artist group who came to perform Ram Leela, because Ram Leela is a very powerful medium to teach the values of Ramayana. Because you see in act, if you read, you are only reading. But when you see being acted, so then it is more powerful, you have more impact on you. So we have lot of activities by which we are promoting. We have publications. We have one book, Sanskar Ramayana. It looks a bit strange, the name. We haven't created another Ramayana, but we have taken the portions of Ramayana which are very, very relevant at each stage of our life. If we can't read the whole Ramayana and we read only those extracts of Ramayana, how we can benefit from them.
All right.
So, lot of publications.
Fantastic.
So, we are our more emphasis on the writings and on the classes, on the discourses, on the activities, and by that we are trying in our very humble way to promote these values.
Mrs. Arun, thank you very much for your time for this episode of Encounter. It has been very, very helpful, and I definitely learned a lot. So thank you very much for this.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of this episode of Encounter. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have. If you have any queries, questions, topics, suggestions on the guests or any other guests you would like on the program, drop an email. It's encounter@mbc.ipnet.mu. Until the next program, goodbye.